What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Orr, this is Ethan Horror, and today we are back with a brand new video. Today we are going to be doing another tier list. Today we are going to be doing horror movie remakes, which is, there's a lot, because almost every horror movie you can possibly imagine has a remake. And so basically, every time you rank a franchise, there's pretty much going to be a remake in there. And this was pretty hard to differentiate some of the movies that were remakes or not. Critters Attack is kind of like a sequel, but it's not. And sometimes it's a re-adaptation, so It 2017, not a remake, but it is a re-adaptation of the book. I counted re-adaptations. So technically it's remakes and re-adaptations. So if it's a second adaptation of a book, then it's on the list. So I think we have like 38 remakes to go through and be doing a tiered list. So let's get into it.
I want to play a game. Here's Johnny.
So many ads on this website. Here we are at the tier list. At the top, we have favorites, better than the original, worthy remake, bad/boring, and disgrace to the name down there at the bottom. Here is all of the movies we are going to be going through. Some of them I haven't seen the original of, so we're going to try our best to rate them fairly. But starting off, we have the Amityville Horror remake with Ryan Reynolds. For me, this one's going to go in better than the original. I think it is far better movie than the original film. Just because the original, it's a very basic haunted house movie, and it's very okay, but it's not anything spectacular. This one I felt had significantly better acting. It was significantly better made, and I just really... I like what this movie did a lot more than the original. I do like the aesthetic as well. It looks a lot better than the original. I think it's a lot scarier. I think the performances are a lot better. I think it just basically one-ups the original in every way. Black Xmas, which is the first remake of Black Christmas, and I'm going to put it in bad/boring. Is it horrible? Yeah. Is it what I want from a remake? Yes. That probably doesn't make it very much sense to you right now, but I'll explain. What I want in a remake is I want the movie to feel familiar to the original, not the exact same thing, but just done it a little bit differently. I want it to feel familiar. And this movie does feel familiar to the original Black Christmas. And it is similar to the original Black Christmas, and they try something new. It just so happens that the thing that they tried new is not what we want to see, and it did not work out. They implement cannibalism and other stuff. The stuff that they implement is not the stuff we wanted to see from Black Christmas. But I can commend them for trying something new. Next up, one sec. I'm gonna fix this recording real quick. Just bear with me here. This is much better. Now we got a little bit more room to work with. Okay. Next up, we have Black Christmas 2019, and I'm going to go with disgrace to the name for this one. Remember how I just said I want horror movie remakes to feel familiar to the original, but not doing the exact same thing. This movie succeeds on the second part of it, not doing the exact same thing, but does it feel familiar to the original? Not even a little bit. Not even slightly, not even kind of. They don't even have the same villain. They implement supernatural stuff into this. Blair Witch, I'm going to put it in worthy remake. It is not better than the original Blair Witch Project, but I did enjoy it. I think it is a solid found footage slasher. Why did I say slasher? Found footage movie. It's a solid found footage movie. You got basically the same general story of these people going to the woods trying to make a documentary. They get stuck in the woods, and I really like that in this movie they feel very trapped. Like, it's much better at explaining, like, and showing that they're stuck in the woods, and like that it's just supernatural rather than they're just lost. And the only thing I don't like about this movie is that you get to see the Blair Witch, and that is not what we want to see from the Blair Witch, literally. Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is one of the readaptations, because technically not a remake of the original Dracula, but it is a readaptation, and I'm going to stick it in worthy remake. Do I like it better than the original Dracula? By a landslide. Is it a great movie that I would like seek out to rewatch? Not even a little bit, but it was enjoyable. I enjoyed some of it. It's very weird, but yeah, I enjoyed some of it. Candyman 2021. This one's, I think, a requel, which is a sequel that's like kind of a remake. Worthy remake. I really like this movie. Would I say it's better than the original? Not even a little bit. The original is one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite horror movies, one of my favorite Stephen King movies. But this remake, I think it does it really well at, like I said, this one I think is another readaptation, but it feels familiar to the original Carrie while doing some new stuff. Carrie 2013, however, I would put in my favorites. I wouldn't say it's better than the original, because it's hard to beat the original, but that's why it's not better than the original. It's in my favorites. It is one of my favorite remakes of all time, because like I said, with the other ones, familiar to the original, does a lot of new stuff. This makes Carrie modern, and I think Carrie works really well in a modern setting. I like that we have the original, but I like that we also have a modern version that applies to, more stuff that happens now, like, the video that goes on viral of people bullying Carrie. That feels a lot more realistic, because that's what would happen nowadays, is that she'd get, like, her freak out would get recorded and then posted online and spread everywhere, and now it's all over the internet. And that is so much worse than just your high school bullying you, because now you have people all over the internet seeing this embarrassing video of you. So I really like Carrie 2013, and I think it's a very good remake. Child's Play 2019. Now, I know a lot of people like this remake. I, however, do not, even a little bit. I will give you two good things about this movie, and that is the gore and Andy and Chucky's relationship. But I cannot like this movie because of one big reason. Chucky, you destroy your title villain. That is something that is so unforgivable in slasher movies, that, like, Freddy's dead. Destroys Freddy. Unforgivable sin. Everybody hates Freddy's dead. Trying to think of more examples. I can't think of any other examples, but that's, like, when you destroy your main villain in a slasher movie, that is not something that can be forgiven. Critters Attack. Is it a disgrace to the name? No. Is it bad? Yes. Disgrace to the name would have to imply that there are good movies in this franchise. Dawn of the Dead 2004. Do I want to put it in better than... Yeah, we'll put it in better than the original. I was considering putting it in favorites, because I do really like this remake, but I do think Dawn of the Dead 2004 is better than the original Dawn of the Dead. I think the original Dawn of the Dead is a little bit overrated. I do still think it's good, but I think it's a little bit overrated. Because that's not the type of zombie movies I like. I like gritty zombie movies. I'm used to The Walking Dead. That's my favorite TV show. I'm used to, like, more gritty, more action-y, I guess, zombie movies or zombie shows. Just that's my type of zombies, so this version of Dawn of the Dead appealed to me a lot more than the original did. Evil Dead 2013. Yeah, jumping straight up to favorites. This is my favorite of the Evil Dead movies. Have not seen Evil Dead Rise yet, but it would be I think it would still be my favorite because I love this movie so much. The gore is so good. I love Mia as a character. She's one of my favorite final girls, if you consider her a final girl. She's a great character. I love that they don't try to redo Ash because he's such a beloved character. They don't try to redo him. They just bring in a new character that's just as beloved. Everybody loves Mia. And you have some great gore, especially the chainsaw down the middle at the end, and it makes for a phenomenal remake. And I'm not a huge fan of the original Evil Dead, so even if it wasn't phenomenal, I'd probably still put it in better than the original. The Fly. Now, I haven't seen the original Fly, so it feels wrong to put it in better than the original, so I'm going to put it in favorites. Because I think it would probably be in this tier if I didn't title it better than the original, because I haven't seen the original. But I do love it, so I feel confident enough putting it in favorites. I love the performances in this movie. The body horror, obviously, is fantastic. I adore the effects in this movie. They're very good. I mean, I feel like a lot of people know about the body horror in this and how great it is. It's a great concept, a great sci-fi horror movie. It's honestly one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies. I like up there with Alien, so I really like this movie, and yeah, it's a remake, so it's on the list. Friday the 13th, 2009. Worthy remake. Is it better than the original? Yeah. Am I gonna put it in that category? No, because I just don't think that highly of it. I do think it is underrated and overhated. But as far as, like, slasher movies go, it is just a basic slasher movie, which, yes, you can say the same about the rest of the franchise. But I love Friday the 13th, and this is just, like, as far as Friday the 13th movies go, Friday the 13th is my favorite horror franchise, but this is not what I want to see from Friday the 13th. I don't like the more gritty Friday the 13th movie. I do appreciate the new take on Friday the 13th. This is, like I said, as it takes the original, which is familiar, and it does something different. But this time, again, it just isn't the way I would have taken, not the way that I would have liked. I prefer the more, I don't know, the feel of the original movies, and this just doesn't recreate that for me personally. I think it's a good movie, solid remake, just as far as what I want to see from Friday the 13th. Not quite. Godzilla 2014. I have not seen the original Godzilla, but I wouldn't put it. I'm gonna put it in better than the original. I haven't seen the original, but I would assume I would like it better. I really like this movie. It has Elizabeth Olsen in it, so it's hard to make me not like a movie if Elizabeth Olsen is in it. Please watch my Elizabeth Olsen movie ranking. I really like that video. But yeah, so it's a solid kaiju movie. Probably my favorite Godzilla adaptation that I've seen thus far. But yeah, it's good. Check it out. Next up, we have Halloween. The two Rob Zombie ones, I counted both of them as remakes, even though this is a sequel to the remake, and I just counted it as a remake to Halloween 2, because it basically is a remake to Halloween 2. Halloween 2007 is going to go in Worthy Remake, and Worthy, yeah, I guess we will. And then Halloween 2 is going to go in Disgrace to the Name. I hate Halloween 2. I think that Rob Zombie's Halloween, the second half, is actually a decent version of Halloween. Because it does the original 1978 John Carpenter's Halloween, just makes it Rob Zombie, which is, yeah, again, having the familiarity of the original, but doing it in a new way. If you take out that first half, I think you'd actually have a pretty good remake. And then Halloween 2, I can't with that movie. House of Wax, Worthy Remake. I haven't seen the original, but it's a fine slasher movie. It's like a 3-star movie, so it's just gonna, Worthy Remake, meh. It 2017, y'all know exactly where this movie's going. Up to favorites. That is my favorite movie of all time. Not my favorite horror movie. Favorite movie, period. Number 1. So, yeah, that's it. I love, you guys know, I think it's scary. I love Pennywise. I love the characters. I'm willing to overlook the CGI. and I think it tells a great story that is accurate to the book, or somewhat accurate to the book, like accurate enough for a film. It Chapter 2 is going to go in better than the original if we're counting 1990 as the original. I do think this is better than the second half of the miniseries. I do think that if it was longer, it would be a lot better if they got to actually put in all the stuff they wanted in here. It does feel repetitive a little bit in the second half or even in the middle parts, but I do like seeing the characters again. Obviously, it's a sequel to my favorite movie of all time, so it's going to be hard to live up to that, but I still think they did a solid job. I have The Invisible Man, which, as I stated in my horror movie collection video, or live stream, yes, my first ever live stream, did that yesterday. That is one of my favorite remakes of all time. I think it is a phenomenal movie. Not that I don't like the original Invisible Man, just it's a little bit boring, you know, it's from the 30s. But yeah, I think that's a great movie. Performances are great. It's terrifying at some moments, very realistically terrifying too with the domestic violence. And yeah, I just think it's a very well-made movie, and I really, really like that movie. Little Shop of Horrors. I looked up horror movie remakes for this, and this movie came up on multiple lists. So apparently there's an original Little Shop of Horrors. So if that's wrong, blame the lists. Don't blame me, because I didn't know. Worthy remake. It's alright. Not anything spectacular. I liked it. I liked some of the songs. I liked Audrey too. But it wasn't like anything to write home about. Mortal Kombat 2021, if you guys don't know. Mortal Kombat is in my horror movie collection, which is right off camera over there. And simply because, well, the games are horror, so I guess the movies are horror too. I don't know. That's just how I've always imagined them as horror movies, so that's on here. Better than the original for sure. It's a lot. I love a lot of the kills. It is super gory and they look great. Even when they're CG, they look great. I like seeing all the characters. I haven't played a lot of the Mortal Kombat games, but it was nice to see some of the characters that I usually play as, such as Cabal, which is my main. So it was fun to see him in there. But otherwise, it's just a fun movie, just a fun little action, gory splatterfest. I had a fun time. The Mummy 1999. I believe that's when this came out. But it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's definitely better than the original. So we're going to put it in better than the original. Because the original is boring. I hate to, like, rag on the Universal Monster movies because I know they're classics. But they are so boring. Especially the early ones. Like Dracula and The Mummy are so boring that those ones I didn't enjoy whatsoever. But I did really like The Mummy 1999. It's definitely more of an action movie, but it's a remake of a horror movie, so it's on the list. And I did really enjoy it. And I actually just watched The Mummy Returns last night because I was I don't know why, honestly. It just felt like I wanted to watch it, so I did. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Yeah, we were getting a little bit sparse on the bottom here. Don't worry, we got a few that are coming up that'll go down here. Is it a disgrace to the name? No. Is it bad? Yes. Like I said, familiar, but not the same. This movie doesn't do that. It just does the exact same thing. It just does the exact same thing, but makes it a whole lot worse. They make it a lot more creepy and gross, and if you guys know what I'm talking about with that, they make Freddy Krueger a pedophile, so don't like that. And they also, the performances suck, and they replace a lot of the really good stuff from the original with CGI. Pet Sematary 2019. Is it better than the original? Hard to say. The original is pretty bad. But I guess I'm going to put it in worthy remake. Because I did enjoy parts of it. I might like it better than the original, but honestly, the first one's bad. This one's boring. There's not really a middle ground for me between the two. So they're pretty much just both bad for me. I do like the little twist that it's not Gage that gets hit by the truck and it instead swerves and hits the little girl instead. Not that I like that the little girl got hit. It's just I like that it averted your expectations because you assume it's going to be Gage because of, you know, it wasn't the original, but it's not. And that's pretty much the only good part about this movie, honestly. So, yeah. Phantom of the Opera, which I looked it up. also was on the list of remakes, and this is the Universal Monster Movie one. So this is from like the 40s, but apparently there's an earlier one. So, yeah, worthy remake. I enjoyed it. I don't really know how to talk about the Universal Monster movies because there isn't much content or like depth in these movies. They're just kind of fun little movies. If they're fun, if they're not, they're boring. But this one was pretty fun, and it's gonna go in worthy remake. Poltergeist. I want to go worthy remake, but honestly, this was bad. I did not like the Poltergeist remake at all. I thought it was a lot like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, where they do the exact same thing as the original, they just do it worse. And I don't want to I don't want to say it's a worthy remake if they do the original worse. So I'm gonna put it in bad. Well, it was a watchable movie, but it's still would never rewatch it because I just rewatched the original because they do the same thing, but they do it good. So yeah. Psycho 1998 is kind of just representing all of shot-for-shot remakes because I don't watch them. I don't watch shot-for-shot remakes. I did watch Psycho though because I didn't know it was a shot-for-shot remake, but it is. Disgrace to the name. Shot-for-shot remakes are my least favorite thing in all of film, because they exist for the sole purpose of, say it with me, making money. And I know that there's some cash grab sequels out there that are pretty bad, that are just there to make money, but these movies are literally the most uncreative, bland, boring things to ever exist. Because guess what what this movie's purpose is? To make the company money. That's the only purpose of this movie, because guess what? If I'm like, man, I want to watch Psycho, guess what movie I'm going to watch? Psycho, not 1998. I'm going to watch the original, not this one, because it's the exact same thing, shot for shot, line for line, but with Vince Vaughn playing Norman Bates, and it's just... Shot-for-shot remakes are the most pointless thing in existence. I genuinely hate shot-for-shot remakes so much. So, no. Red Dragon, which is a remake of, or a readaptation of Manhunter. Worthy remake. I enjoy it. I enjoy Red Dragon. I enjoy Manhunter. I wouldn't say it's better than Manhunter. I wouldn't say really prefer either. They're both just all right. But, yeah, I did really like... some things that it did. I really liked a lot of the performances. I love Anthony Hopkins, obviously. He's always great. And Ralph Fiennes is great in this as well. So it was some great performances. It was a decent movie. So it's right in the middle. The Ring, which is the American remake of Ringu. I haven't seen the original, but I'm going to put it in better than the original. No, I'll put it in favorites. I like The Ring. The Ring's really good. Samara obviously is an iconic villain. The scene of her crawling out of the TV it's everywhere. I mean, there was a prank, like back when this movie, or not when this movie came out, back around like Vine times, there was pranks where people would, actually have people crawl out of TVs and scare people. It's an iconic movie. It's very good. I really enjoy it. And so yeah, it's gonna go up in the top tier. Silent House. Didn't know this movie was a remake at all, but again, Elizabeth Olsen. It's hard to make me not like an Elizabeth Olsen movie, and I love this movie. It is her only pure horror movie, and I think it's very, very good. Very enjoyable. I really liked it through and through. I mean, it's very low quality. It's very low budget, but that adds to the charm of the movie for me, honestly. I really like it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I don't know what it's a remake of, but it is a remake apparently. So if you haven't seen it, just go check it out. You might like it like me. You might hate it like most people. I think it has like a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes or something, but I love it. So yeah, it's going up in the favorites. Silent Night is a worthy remake. It does the same... It feels close enough to the original. I know it's not like the original where it's kind of focusing on Billy the entire time. It's kind of more of a whodunit, but it's also kind of more like Friday the 13th, where you have no idea who it is in the end because they've never been mentioned or talked about. It's just kind of like the movie ends and you're like, oh my god, it's that guy? who's that guy? Well, guess what? They don't even know because he's not been introduced yet. But that's what we got. It's a decent remake. It's fine. I do like some of the gore though. It does have some good gore in it. So don't sleep on the gore in this movie. Got 5 left here. Almost done. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. Worthy remake. It's really all I got to say about it. It's more grimy. It's more dirty. It's more disgusting. It's more gory than the original. But just not personally one of my favorite remakes. The Thing... I don't remember. John Carpenter's The Thing. Where did you think it was going to go? Where did you think it was going to go? Do you think it was going to go anywhere besides top tier? No, because it's amazing. When a Stranger Calls, the remake. I haven't seen the original, so I feel wrong putting it in disgrace to the name. But God, this is one of the most boring movies I've ever watched in my life. It's the literal movie equivalent of watching paint dry. Like between this and White Noise, most boring movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, there's no substance here. It's barely even entertaining at some points, and I can't with this movie. Wicker Man, bad. You guys know this movie. You know it's the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man remake. You know. I wouldn't put it in disgrace to the name because I did get some enjoyment out of it because it's so bad. But yeah, it's gonna go in bad / boring. And next up, we have The Wolfman. Gonna go in worthy remake. I enjoy it a lot more than a lot of people, but still not fantastic. It's got a lot of good scenes. It's got some good gore. I like the makeup. I think it actually won an Oscar for best makeup, so that's cool. The performances aren't spectacular, but it has a stacked cast, and I enjoy some of it. I like werewolf movies. It's hard to mess up werewolf movies for me. But so yeah. That's my tier list of all the horror movie remakes that I have seen. That's going to be it for today's video. Remember, if you did enjoy, make sure to hit like and subscribe so I know you'll see more videos like it. Otherwise, you can go down below and hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when I post any brand new videos. Otherwise, you can comment down below some more video ideas for me, and I'll see you guys next time. I missed.